This video has been designed to give you a quick introduction to the structure of Simply Accounting, which uses the power of openoffice or libreoffice spreadsheet programs to create an accounting program which, while being simple and efficient to operate, is also extremely powerful. The overview will focus on giving you an overall understanding of the system structure. Firstly, though, let's talk a little bit about open source software. Open source software, for those who don't know, is software that is designed and manufactured by volunteers throughout the world. It is available free of charge from these websites like LibreOffice and OpenOffice. One is also free to distribute the software. And Simply Accounting makes use of open source software, and we don't ever sell Simply Accounting to anybody. We simply sell the service that Simply Accounting provides to you. So you don't pay anything up front for Simply Accounting. You pay per transaction that is put through and utilizes Simply Accounting. Well, let's move on and have a quick look at how Simply Accounting works. Firstly, let's just have a look at the fact that if you are perhaps not fully conversant with OpenOffice yet, I'm sure you will recognize this as a spreadsheet. And also what you'll recognize down at the bottom here is multiple tabs. And this is the starting point for Simply Accounting's power. It makes use of the multiple worksheets to combine all the year's transactions and data into one workbook. Let's further move on and have a look at the static information sheet. This is the sheet in which we capture the basic information, and there we see the tab is called information, and we capture, and this is done automatically, the name. And that would of course be your accounting name, or let's say that again. That would in fact be your name of your business. We then have certain fields that have to be filled in, and these numerically are, of course, one is the name, two is the financial year end, whether it's a 2014 or 2013 year, then of course the month, the financial year end month. In most cases in South Africa this would be month 2, but in other jurisdictions it could be any month. We then have a flag as to whether it's a VAT registered entity or not, and we then have a VAT percentage. The next two items, number 4, are important. These are the auto allocate numbers. What this does is effectively allows Simply Accounting to auto-allocate any amounts coming into the bank, deposits coming into the bank, to specific accounts that you have selected here. And in this case 235 is accounts receivable and 205 is bank to savings. So that just happens to be the way we've set this particular example up. And of course you can override this when you get to doing your monthly transactions. So that is the information sheet. Let's have a look now at one of the sheets that you would fill in monthly. First of all, notice that it's a highly compressed picture that we've got here. 19 jumps to 418, 424 jumps to 645, etc. So for instance, under bank 1 you have 400 transactions that you can put in. And when we do the video on the bank, you will see how easily, not only is it to put your transactions into the bank, but to allocate them. You'll notice that there are 12 sheets, and these are the 12 monthly sheets. They're known as your monthly data sheets. Brief overview of the structure of the monthly data sheets. Well, we've already given you a bit of an insight there, but let's have a look at it. Up at the top is your important area, and this is where all your control totals come in. We'll study this in detail when we do the information video on the monthly data sheet. But however, have a look at this. This area is used to control totals and for balancing. The only information the user can enter are the bank balances. That goes in that area there. For the rest, all of this is automatically updated by the system. Let's move on a little further. Okay, we've had a look at that. Let's just take this guy off. The rest of the sheet is where the data is entered, as already explained. If we move on to the chart of accounts. Now, the chart of accounts in any accounting system is in fact the heart of the accounting system. This is in fact where data is allocated to. Once again, our picture here is highly compressed. They're in fact provided as standard around 400 accounts for you to, well, about 380 accounts. These accounts have been laid out and numbered in such a way that they are easy to utilize in an IFRS set of financial statements. If we just have a look a little bit further, the chart of accounts is the central part, as I've said. Accounts are normally grouped according to their type, which you would see there. There will be more, obviously, on the chart of accounts when we look at the tutorial on the chart of accounts. And if we have a look, the next column is where we designate whether the account would carry VAT or not. Once again, this is not really a simply accounting problem. This is actually a problem of understanding what the VAT rules are in your particular jurisdiction. More about that though in the tutorial. And then finally, you'll notice that there are 12 color-coded columns, one per month, and the color codings coincide with the tab color codings, making it very easy for you to memorize or find a particular month. For instance, we know month 11 is January 2014, and there's month 11 down there. And finally, we'll move on to have a look at one of the most powerful features of Simply Accounting, and that is this sheet which doesn't look like much on the surface, called Accounts. And what Accounts does for you, it gives you the ability to sort and to access data in a filtered manner according to selected criterion. It's a fairly complex process. However, we have simplified that, and we have simplified the use of spreadsheets to the extent that very little user interaction is required to get what you want out of the system. Well, we look forward to showing you a bit more about Simply Accounting in the future videos on the individual parts of Simply Accounting.